signs say no.
We're the only badass novel bitches around. So.
Oh, there we go.
If I'm good to go.
Then, when the music is broken off,
Yeah, you're supposed to there you go.
I'm so excited for this! Flower bookmarks. These are so pretty.
We all got different designs. Mine is bamboo with like a...
Oh my god, that was an exciting adventure.
Welcome back.
Hi, thank you so much. We have Erica Bauermeister. Welcome, guest author Kayla tonight. Special guest. Only a lot of panelists tonight. Jess Lowry, right here with us tonight. Welcome, Asha. We're so excited.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me.
Hey, bitches.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey.
hello. Welcome back, Rebecca.
Thank you. I missed y'all last week.
Yeah. And you didn't die on your birthday, so.
I did not.
Well,
I survived.
And Anna's going to be asking, even though we already discussed it briefly, she's going to ask you about your body glide, I'm sure. And
I'm just going to ask who you lubed up.
The more important.
They all kept running away from me when I tried. But I have to tell you, I had the Novel Bitches logo on my shoulder. My daughter put it on in eyeliner pen for me.
Oh.
It was still there when I crossed the finish line. It's on my, you can see the shoulder in the finish line pictures.
What she's telling me is that she didn't run hard enough because she didn't break a sweat.
Girl,
Or
there
she's
was
telling
not
us.
there was not a drop of liquid left in my body after probably mile 10. I
now I
came
wanna
across the finish
know-
line and I was head to toe salt.
Oh.
It was gross.
Oh.
And it was cold. It was really cold.
I don't
It was
running
44
in cold
degrees.
My ears.
But I want to
So-
rewind to the eyeliner on what eyeliner that was.
Oh, I'm gonna have to ask because it was good.
We're about to
it-
buy it.
Yeah, I'll find out for sure what it was
Wet
because
for you.
it outlasted. Hey Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. And we've got Jessica already.
Hey
Katrina.
Jessica, Katrina.
Regina's here. All right, everybody. How was your week? How's everybody's week going? There was a birthday. I think Nina's birthday was this week. She's not on right now, but happy birthday, Nina.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
And then we had another Vanessa birthday on here. It was super funny. I was like, who the fuck is this? You remember when we asked who wanted their birthdays in our calendar? I think that some of the new gals who didn't really do a whole lot yet were unsure what we meant. And so we were just here's my birthday. So we put it on. But I was like, I have no idea who this is. They just got their birthday on my calendar.
They came and they left.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday.
So happy birthday wherever you are.
Right?
Must have.
Happy birthday. So, oh no, that's this coming week. Sorry. Am I right? No. Oh, this week is
The 18th. It was past Friday.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Holidays
like, this week isn't Thanksgiving, so I was going back a week. Stupid. All right, oops. Cold but good. What is your temperature over there right now? Because I'll go ahead and complain about ours.
I'm cold.
I'm not gonna complain. It was so nice. We had the sunset going right now before I came in. And I mean, it's neon pink out there over the ocean right now. You guys, I'm losing my view. So I got to stare at it as much as I can, right? So hot pink out there. It's a light, warm breeze today, this evening. My house, and we don't have AC or anything like that, but my house is colder than the outside. So when I stepped out, I was like, oh, this is so good.
I don't know if that's an older house. How old is that house? Do you know?
This house? I think it was me. I think it was built in 70.
Oh, the 70s. Okay.
Yeah.
My house does that. It's at night, it's colder. I don't know. It's it reverses and it's really annoying. On hot, when it cools down outside, it's still hot inside. And then vice versa. So, I don't know why.
Older homes are like that. It's weird. But yours is old, right? Your 20s?
1910.
10.
Wow.
And it was moved to the location in 1930.
Your house is 100 years older than mine.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, all these have, Yeah, it's like a craftsman home.
You do have such a beautiful home now, and they really like take care of it inside. As you saw, like she went on and on about her windows for like how long, like because she had to replace them with something that would like
Match. Yeah.
fit. So I think it's amazing. All right, 20s.
No.
Yeah, I was like, what's the proper
20s.
word for this? Like she's sitting in 20-degree weather. I don't know what the right word is to respond to that.
Burr.
Fuck no.
That sounds like no thank you
Hi,
weather.
Nisa.
That
Anissa
sounds illegal.
said it's 39 here. Been sleeting and snow flurries the last 2. Damn, girl.
So it was supposed to be like
41 feels like
68.
36.
It's supposed
How
to be
is
68
Florida
today,
colder than us right now?
but it was 78 today.
It was 78. Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. Once everybody said their degrees, I was gonna go ahead and no, you go right on ahead. So that's what we were hanging out at today.
But it was supposed to be 68. So I'm like, oh, nice. And then Nara starts complaining, oh, it's supposed to be winter. And he's like, no, it's fall. But I was like, but we're in Southern California and our weather just kind of flip flops.
She said my new house gets snow. No, I think that they're like LA. Like I think they've had snow once in like the last 40 years. So no, I'm not going to be getting snow. It'll get cold. We were told to expect. So we're basically going to be like next door to Temecula when we move in February. So we were told to expect. What is it?
You get frost.
Like a 5-degree difference year round.
Oh.
So like when it's hotter, it'll be like 5 degrees to 10 degrees hotter. And then when it's colder, then here gets in like, the low 40s, like around 4 a.m. We could probably get like maybe late 30s, early 40s. So it's not going to be that major of a shift. It's just like, I think the breeze is going to be different through there because it's in like a bowl. That area, there's nothing around it.
I have some family there, and I can't remember what season we went to visit them, but the evenings were always comfortable.
Yeah. Well, we'll fucking see. We're only gonna give it like 5 years. I mean, if I can't hack it though, it may not be a full 5.
But it's a lot. It's a lot more built up now, at least.
There's a lot there. There's like a shit ton of shopping.
Like 15 years ago, nothing.
No, they've worked on it. Anyway, well, I was laughing about what everyone's favorite book was. Vanessa posted that today, asking what everyone's favorite book was so far this year. We still have one more book, so it's hard to answer that question.
Yeah.
I was laughing at everybody's answers like right before we went live. Everybody's like, did you read them all? Yeah, I had to fight through them. Some of them, Love it. For the Wolf, Lost Apothecary, Last Kingdom. Oh my goodness, Tapestry. We got all kinds of everybody picked a different set of books. That's super fun.
How funny.
That's super fun. So we'll see what everybody thinks about all of our book choices next year.
What do people think about the idea? The theme?
I like it. I think it's fun. Except now I'm gonna have homework and I don't like watching the movie before I've read the book. So are we saving the movie conversation for the end, or do I have to watch chunks of the movie?
So that's what we're planning. So whether or not everybody wants to even watch these movies or TV shows, not necessary. I mean, we're still book club, so we're going to discuss the book first. And if anybody wants to watch the movies or TV shows, we will keep that to the last week. So when we are discussing finale stuff, then we'll also discuss differences between book and movie or TV show if we want. And then we'll, take instead of just doing our regular rating, we'll do a book or movie, which one was better. But we can still do our bitches ratings, but make it a little different for next year. So we'll see.
I was really excited to see the January book choice because
right?
And hanging out on my TBR list.
You mentioned that, and I was like, "Oh my god, we had already."
Excited.
Was it just Rebecca that? Because somebody mentioned it about reading it, and we were all kind of trying. We don't want to say don't,
Yeah, there's quite a few gals who've already read it. Not all of us have, obviously. So, and then I think, Rebecca, you had mentioned it, and we had already decided on, I think, maybe 50% of the books next year at that time. And I was like laughing. I was like, oh, we're going to be reading it first. So that'll be really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, now I'm really glad I didn't watch the movie yet because I definitely want to read the book first.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so you can just like wait until the end. So that one, it's so funny. The week we released, like the title, it came out on Netflix. So you guys could, once you get to that point, you can watch that one on Netflix. And then we have a few others that are available between like Netflix and maybe Hulu and maybe Amazon Prime. I'm not sure. Most of them should be available.
Yeah.
But whether or not
easy to obtain.
Yeah. Or whether or not you want to watch them doesn't matter. You don't have to. We'll see.
The only thing I'm worried about is it's going to be extra hard not to read ahead because I'm going to want to finish the book so I have time to watch the.
Well, last week, like get all your reading done.
Yep.
That night, and then you have like the week to, mull it over.
Yep. Third Sunday of every month, I'm just going to like call off the next Monday so I can stay up all night reading the book and watching the movie.
You're gonna have late start every Monday.
I'm just gonna call out
fourth Monday of the month.
Nobody will notice.
Yeah, call out. Well, you don't know. We might have something that you'll need to binge watch.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be.
Good thing there's a TV in my office.
You could be like working hard, doing work for my book.
Again, don't tell my boss.
She said self-care once a month. There you go.
Absolutely does. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will get back to our topic here, which is we read some more of our book this week, The Sunday Lunch Club by Juliet Ashton. What a week it was. This week did not fail us at all. We got so much from every single character. I was like, how in the world could she pack that in just like within like 100 pages? That's insane.
So I did mess up. Well, first week I read ahead. This week I'm behind one chapter. So I may, if I sound confused, that's why.
It's a good chapter, dude.
Stopped on what chapter?
I didn't read chapter 12.
Cool girl.
Oh man.
I'm excited to hear. I'm up for spoilers.
Look at them. Look at these. I love them too right now with their book open.
I'm trying to figure out where it is.
I love it.
What is?
Okay. So in chapter 11, page 291, when Anna says, "You're letting your hair grow, Josh," I was like, I knew it.
I know.
And then, at the time,
I bookmarked the page.
Yes, and at the time, Josh pulled a lock of hair behind his ear, and I was like, "Here we go," like getting ready. And then when Josh and Anna were having that conversation at her house, and the same gesture. I just like it was meant to be like revisited, and I was so glad that you picked up on that came up earlier, because then when it came up later, I was like, "Aw."
Does she realize now, or is she just?
It clicks.
Putting.
She something about his eyes. She figures it out. She sees it in the look in his eyes.
So,
well, she looks at the photo.
Right. But she recognizes the eyes in the photo.
Right.
Like
which photo? The photo, the Polaroid?
The Polaroid that was in Lucas.
Oh, she kept it.
She had kept it. Yeah, they thought he takes off. He's been gone. I know. I was going to say, speaking of a Polaroid,
we're not to that page yet. So I'm like,
I know. And when you get to that page, scratch it off before you even read the page. Like, just you can scratch it. Yeah.
I may have to take a mental health day tomorrow just because I've like been dying.
368. I want to
get like a.
My nail doesn't want to do it. I just pressed him on. Oh my god!
It's saying no.
I was going to wait. There's a sneak right there. It didn't happen. Okay. So yeah, so cute. I was like, "Aw, Anna, you were so brilliant for doing the Polaroid." We didn't know how important the Polaroid was going to end up being. We know what's underneath this, but just the Polaroid becoming such an important piece where, like, he's not going to tell on his friend, and even if it means that he's going to lose his relationship. What?
Well, because it was their professional relationship as to why Josh was seeing him
originally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, it's not really his place to divulge any of that.
Mm-hmm. So, and even if it wasn't a therapy situation, like even if it wasn't a professional situation, Luca had enough respect for Josh's journey to be like, it isn't my place. Regardless of it hurting me, it isn't. I can't. It's not his place to say anything. So
yeah, Jessica.
I was super impressed with that.
I think we were all hinting at it last week. We're a little unsure, but that's where we were kind of headed. But Jessica literally hit the nail right on the head. I was like, "Oh, girl, you got it. You were right." I was reading this week, and I cannot tell you how many times I out loud had responses. It was like page by page, like,
yeah,
ooh. Oh,
was anybody around while you were
CJ? And he just stares at me and he's like,
"See, here's the trick. You got to get your husband to play a video game with his." So I'm sitting next to Call of Duty dude over here,
right,
and he's yelling obscenities at the TV, so he can't hear me responding to the book. So it actually works out perfectly.
Right. In general, it's the same thing, responding to a video game, responding to a book.
Yeah.
So she said doing nail scratch or coin scratch. I don't know if coin nails would be scratchier.
Well, not Tasha's coin.
Or I would coin because you want to scratch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Not just like a little strip.
And then it's a cute little keeper after you're done. Oh my God, I cannot wait till we get to this page.
Right.
Yeah. So much happened in this week's reading with all of our characters. I really feel like we've hit that kind of major point in the book where everything kind of starts falling into place now afterwards. And it'll be really nice to see where everything goes and where all these characters go and how they grow toward the end of the chapter or the end of the book. But so much happened. It just felt like it was all pivotal moments. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. What? The whole.
Yeah. Everything.
Well, can we talk about Dinky?
Dinky.
Yes.
Oh.
And now we understand why her and what's her name? She basically told her secrets.
Yeah.
Before even her own grandkids.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was.
I get that because
she opened up to Sheba because she did have somebody, and it was nice for her to have that and know that it is out in the open, because so many of the things in our story, even to the main characters, they're not said out loud. So, Josh is not out loud, even to himself about it. He will not just, say it out loud, this is what I am. This is who I am. And, Anna will not say out loud that she had gone through, a pregnancy and an adoption, and that it wasn't something that she chose. And so that we can understand now why she's been on her journey. But it's, just so many things and Neil never saying out loud that he didn't ever actually want a family. He just wanted Santi. It's just, there's so many things that, finally being honest and opening up. So it was really nice for Dinky and Anna to have that moment where, she opened up to her granddaughter. And I was so
heartbroken for her.
I mean,
it hurt.
Dinky's story was super sad, but I think what killed me the most was that knowing that Dinky knew about the baby and was willing to help Anna with the baby, and she could have had her daughter and wasn't even given that option because of her damn dad. And the letter, realizing that the letter was switched.
Wait, where was that? Did I miss that, or when was that told? What letter? The letter that she left with the baby?
So remember how she finally goes and meets with her daughter. What?
She didn't get to the point where she meets her daughter.
Oh, you didn't get there. Well, now you're gonna know because that's
How did she not just take her in? Yeah, I was so excited to hear that Dinky knew that, though. That was incredible.
So what I got out of that was Dinky had this horrible experience with her husband and being forced to marry this man who attacked her.
Yeah.
And then, like, he dies, which is probably a good thing for her because now she doesn't have to.
That's what she said. She was like,
and so she makes up this persona of the man that she was married to, and she makes up this persona of this good and decent person to try to not inflict him on the children. And then the son grows up to be the way that he is, and to treat his daughter the way that way that he did. And I'm sure that that was like really hard for Dinky to watch, and it maybe made it a little bit hard for her to stand up for herself and stand up for Anna and the baby.
Yeah.
Because this was like her reliving the trauma of.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
It was like a whole extra level of trauma.
Yeah. And carrying it through the generations because, Dinky was so worried that Alan, who's their father, would be exactly like his dad, and, was like, I thought, I got a chance and that he wasn't going to be like him and that I could change that. And then there he was. He was just so much like him. And, they don't really know their dad very well, and they don't really have like a good rapport with him. But obviously, sometimes things are just genetic, or, like you're just predisposed, like that's how you're going to be. But obviously, we got a little bit more on the background there. And so it was interesting. Really interesting. It's nice to. Is anybody else out there, or is it just me?
I think it's just you.
Okay, then I'll ignore it. It was interesting, with a lot of the stories that we read where we get like these older character perspectives, they have this whole life that someone else thought they had. And then there's that moment like where you get the truth about their life and it's like, God, old people really hold some secrets.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder.
Yeah.
Right. And it makes me wonder sometimes like if we're not asking the right questions of like our elders. And like maybe not of our grandparents, but like of our parents' generation, where like, they wouldn't say certain things until they got to a certain age, if maybe prompted. But it's like, am I missing something? Should I have asked some other questions? Like, you just feel like maybe I need to go, deep dive into the family for just like a minute. But
well, I don't know. Like if you think about it, think about when we get to the stage of being grandparents ourselves, right? You're not going to necessarily maybe divulge every little piece and secret of you, and
no, not all of it.
Kind of what you did when you were younger. And then you're going to have your moment where when your grandkids are talking to you and you're in your final stages, that you might shock the hell out of them. Like, wait, you did what? Because they don't see you in that light. You are known as so many different people to different people throughout your whole life. They don't know that Tasha, they're only going to know Grandma Tasha,
right?
It's a completely different person. So it's funny when you think about it like that.
Well, especially if they're people that are living in the moment. They're living in the moment. They're in their world now. Not necessarily they're forgetting the past, but it just doesn't necessarily come up.
Yeah.
Until a certain like Dinky, it came up.
Yeah.
Well,
but I mean, I think our generation too is just very different. We're more about talk about it, get it out, therapy, and back then it was very hush hush. You had to put on the show for everybody. Everything had to look like there were no problems.
Well, the whole don't share your dirty laundry.
Yeah.
That was the phrase. And now we're like, our generation's posting it on like several social media, like for the world.
Right.
I think some of our generation, I think it's the next generation, like the oldest and of the next.
Well, I don't. Yeah, not, really, like, not
everything like
a little too much, maybe. Here. I think the pendulum swung too far.
A little bit, yeah. Like I believe that it is better for people to be able to say like this is what's happened in my life, and to not have to keep those secrets, and to be able to say to someone else who maybe didn't think that anyone else had gone through a similar experience, like, hey, I'm with you. Or, I can help you through this because I've been there. And it's nice that like we have that kind of conversation now because they didn't before, like Anna was saying. And even our parents' generation has gone through a significant amount of that. Like, so not just our grandparents, but our parents, because I know that there were so many things that like, our parents have gone through that they didn't talk about either, or that they were forced to do, and they didn't have a choice because of their parents' generation. But it's just, I don't know. It's interesting to see how things just kind of change generationally, like who talks about things more and how they come up and conversation and how the responses come to be. But I don't know. I thought it was a really good moment for Anna to have with her grandmother right then. Obviously, because her grandmother was like, fuck, I'm so sick of hearing about him. Like, you guys didn't even know him. Like, I know that I've told some stories, but like they're just stories.
Yeah. Like that person didn't really exist. The one that you
right. And they are so obsessed with the story of him, like never having known him. They just were like, oh, it was nice that this woman that I do know and love had this great relationship. And so that's what they hang on to. And for her, she's like, fuck it.
Well, and I think that's what created more sadness for them because they thought that she was still so heartbroken,
over him,
or her, angel of a husband. And she was finally like, fuck him. Yeah. So good for her.
Thank you. Everybody's over there lighting the candle for him every time they come over and blah, blah, blah. And she goes, I light a candle on November 11th every year. And I was like, girl, that's what you light a candle for. Now that is something I'm down with. I was so happy she said that. It's just so many things come up because then, you're finding the connection between her and her grandmother. And she's realizing that her grandmother would have completely been there for her. And that she has also done a similar ritual since then. And it's been 24 years. Yeah. She's like 24 years old. She's married. She has a toddler of her own. So
what you didn't get to is that when they meet up, can we talk about it? I know you haven't read it.
I want to talk about it. So I said I may sound confused. I just wanted
it is Sam's. So that is the child between her and Sam.
Isn't that wild?
She was 16.
And when she goes and takes Sam to this restaurant that she works at and finally confronts her and they're talking, there's still all this anger, right? All this anger from Carly. And you're still kind of trying to figure out, like, where's all this coming from? Because like we talked about, right? Talk to her and get her side of the story out, understanding where all the anger is coming from. And then you realize, because she gives her a pink piece of paper back. So Anna thinks that it's the note that she wrote.
Original note.
And when she finally opens it up and reads it, it is not her letter. Her dad wrote a letter basically saying that we want absolutely no contact and this and that and all this bullshit, and swapped her letter out. And that's where all this anger and animosity and stuff comes from.
Yeah, but so Carly doesn't really know that this was not Anna's choice.
Correct.
Oh. Does that get found out, or we find that next?
We don't know yet. It's probably, hopefully, in the next section.
That's how it ended. Golly.
Yeah. Right? Like, it was
well,
good.
then I assume she knows that she's pregnant, and there's anger there.
Oh, she did.
She made a comment about that.
Yeah. You're gonna keep this? No.
You gonna give this one away too?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Sam was such a blubbering idiot when they were there. I was just like, can you stop?
Sam didn't know. She kind of cornered him. So like she takes Sam to dinner or, out to like chit chat or whatever. And she comes clean and says like, hey, I found her, blah, blah, blah. She's been sending me letters.
And he didn't know anything about
pregnancy? He doesn't know anything. And he also doesn't know that she brought him to where their daughter now works.
Oh, wow.
Their daughter knew about the baby though, didn't he?
No, the baby,
Oh, he didn't know that there was a baby?
He knew about the baby and the adoption.
No,
he didn't know that she was getting the letters, and she didn't know that Anna had found Carly, and that's why they were there.
Why they were.
But he didn't know it was.
So his. The bartender is.
Well, he knew that they had a kid, and she had to put him up for adoption.
Oh, he did know all that this whole time.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And then we find out also why her siblings didn't know that she had a baby, because she was where I read so early last week they sent her off to what is it?
I read that part. Yeah. That's what I was assuming happened because I know that happened a lot.
They always went on.
That generation went through the same exact thing, and that's how a lot.
Well, that's what happened in It All Comes Back to You, right?
Pretty much.
She went off.
So visit your aunt and come back and magically no more pregnancy.
Right. This kind of reminded me of that as well. I thought back to that story.
My God, if I lived in that day, I would hate to hear if anybody was leaving to go visit an aunt somewhere. Like, what's really going down? Shit.
Right? You're just going to your aunt's for the summer, for the winter. Like, that's not odd. You're going to take a little time off school. Yeah, that's not weird.
Everybody goes to their aunts for like a good 4 or 5 months, it seems like.
But it was a common occurrence where parents would send, and I think that's even my mom's generation and the generation above, where girls would get sent away and they would complete their pregnancy, and then their baby would be taken away. Whether it was their choice or not, they didn't really have a choice. At that point, parents
made the choice for them,
I was just surprised at how long she was with her daughter before they took her.
She had
a week.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Very.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not hard either way, but to make that makes more sense. How she was saying this, that bond that there's a bond either way, but
but getting to watch her and hear her and cuddle with her and all these things for a week, and then I don't know what's worse.
I think
you know that I had that time or never have.
Right. And that's what I think Luca had said that best. He said it was so long but so short.
Yeah.
Of a time to have her. So Luca, how the hell is this?
So is he back?
Exist? He seems like a fairy tale.
So he's back because she realizes.
Well, she talks to him.
Yeah, he's not back yet.
Okay. I got so mad at him. I didn't realize. I didn't put two.
She talks to him for a hot minute, but no, he's not back yet. I think he's coming back.
How did you guys when with the whole Polaroid? You guys knew right away, or
I wondered because of the hat, because of the floppy hat.
Right.
They mentioned the floppy hat in the picture, and I wondered to myself that it doesn't sound like
a pointless insert. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like they were trying to say this was somebody who's trying to, maybe shield part of who
they are.
Something, change their appearance or something.
Caught that on nicely. I was driving and listening.
Well done. I think Luca's coming back too. Yes, Regina. I think he's coming.
I hope so.
I do.
Anybody who would make that sacrifice.
He's a good. What's great to know is
really good guy.
There's a relationship previous to them even meeting, and that is that he was a good, therapist for her brother at the time, and then they became good friends and was supportive of, Josh being able to go on that journey and understood that maybe there were reasons why certain steps weren't taken at the time
in the order they were supposed to be taken.
Yeah. So I thought that was really neat. It's just we really got to know Luca through Josh in that moment, kind of what a good friend that he's been. And so that he's going to have your back and he's going to be a good man and
a faithful
not only
human being.
And not only is he incredible for his friends and for obviously her sister, he speaks so highly of the different family members, and he speaks so well of the kids that he even says he never liked. And so I think that maybe he, similarly to Neil, never really expected to be a father or to have kids in his life, and maybe never really had interest and thought they were annoying. But there's going to be some things that eventually change, and so Neil changed this week.
I just wonder if his mom is going to have an effect on.
I hope
how that were
the Luca's mom.
Yes,
Luca's mom.
Yeah, I wonder that too.
Feel
we only met her that once, or did we meet her again? Just that one time?
We haven't met her yet, but I and it could have just been make sure you know what you're doing,
kind
of thing.
But she may know it's fun. Like, maybe, I know my son doesn't want to have kids. He's not interested. He doesn't like him. And now he's involved with this woman, and he's in love with her. He loves her, and he loves his life with her, but it will change.
But I think it would be any parent. Like, if my son came through dating somebody who was pregnant with another man's child, you're going to have worry, right? Because what is that going to look like? What is that other relationship going to look like? Is she going to go back to him? Why are they not together? Like that's a lot to put on, number one, a new relationship, but then to think about your kid having to go through that possible heartbreak. So I get where Luca's mom is coming from.
Yeah.
I just wonder, because they are so close, if she comes back up again and kind of has something to say about it, and if it turns it one way or another, it would be interesting.
Ooh, bitch. I swear, if you call it, you are so fucking clairvoyant. You've done it so many times in our books that sometimes I think that you've already finished them. And I'm like,
I have not. I'm actually
look at her. She's like, nope.
No. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I tried to read ahead a little bit because, I'm going to be in Vegas next week and it's going to be crazy. So I am on page 337, which is, what is this? 6 pages into chapter 13. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And something happens. But it ain't got nothing to do with Luca and his mom.
Did we get to the dog?
That happens right at the end of 12.
What happened?
Right after they come back from the restaurant.
Did Yeti die?
Yeti had a boo-boo.
So she comes back from the restaurant with Sam or whatever, and after all that, and Carly being just a little shit, and I mean, rightfully so, but still, she's being a brat, and so she's already defeated, and she comes home like expecting her sweet dog, and like the dog's nowhere to be found, and she like runs out in the neighborhood, looks around, and sees the dog on the floor
in the street.
Oh no!
He had gotten out of his kennel while she was gone.
Oh,
and she's feeling really bad about it because she was annoyed with him and kind of like snapping at him right before she left. So, like, I almost wasn't surprised.
Do not say goodbye on a bad note. This is something, and I don't know who it was.
To your friends or your animals.
This was a rough week emotionally. For
I'm
reading.
just saying, this was like you know what this was? You don't get to read your book any further. You have to wait until next season. Everything was like, oh my God, so much shit just went down that it was like, if you were watching a TV show, this is where they would have ended it.
Oh, for the next season.
For next season. And then it would have just been like a short, like, okay, recap. Then this is where we're at. And it would have, like, it's not going to be as much as you
that like,
tell me. Oh my God, what are they going to do with all of this now? Oh my God. And all I'm thinking is, can we please meet Thea? Like, I just can't wait to meet Thea at this point. I'm so excited. So excited for that journey. It just is,
it'll be interesting how she decides to introduce herself.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope she comes to Sunday Lunch Club and like unannounced, just like shows up at Sunday Lunch Club.
Oh, that'd be so good.
You know what I'm thinking? You know what I'm thinking? Because Josh and Dinky are kind of close, right? And Josh has brought Dinky to a couple of Sunday lunches and stuff. I wonder if Dinky's already met Thea.
Probably.
I hope so.
And she's so good at like just.
Yes.
She is on the, like, I cannot wait. And I hope I am that kind of a grandmother. Like, I hope I'm not right. Like, who is just always on it.
Okay, wait. Can we talk about Santi's uncle, who ends up blessing the marriage and wanting to?
That actually,
I was gonna
shocked me a little. That did not go how I was expecting it to go.
When you were just talking about Josh, I was thinking about that and all these other moments of everybody kind of like coming to like letting things be known, air out, and everybody's just still the same. They've treated nobody any different,
right?
And I think all this might help him build to that point to realize these people are here.
No matter what. So it's okay to come as I am.
Yeah, I have a feeling that he's not concerned with like introducing herself to Dinky. I think she already knows. She's already met her. I think he's just waiting for the right time to like, when is my full transition going to be? Because remember, she's been kind of going out in public a little bit here and there, right?
Yeah.
She had her afternoon with Luca out, and she just wants to make sure that she's
safe.
They put in there able to pass, right?
Right.
So I think Thea's just waiting for that moment where she's completely comfortable in who she is, and this is it. I'm not going back and forth anymore between Josh and Thea before she just
becomes Thea.
Yes, right.
Dude, welcome to the party. Oh my God, we have so many. We're just discussing so many things. I would be so excited if Dinky already knows Thea.
Yeah.
Or Dinky like brings Thea.
That would just be so Dinky.
And, like introduce.
That would be
like,
very,
hey.
yes, that would be so Dinky. I would love that. That would be really cool.
I think so.
Oh, you're right. Bitch, if this didn't happen though, like
I know, right?
Friends, Juliet Ashton, Missy, but you kind of missed it, an opportunity there because that would be.
So you need to consult with us so we can like.
But we have to like, as a whole book club, read like a rough draft
transcript, yeah,
and then go through it together and then tell you.
No. You need to make this.
Change this.
That'd be so good. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, Santi's uncle, that was a whole ordeal. Anna pretending to be like wife and everything. I was dying.
I was like, I wonder how Neil actually feels about this, because he's the one who's always like, I've been secretive and I've never really felt that way, and I've always felt like, oh, maybe it's a little bit wrong and all that. And I was like, oh, you think it's a little bit wrong? Wait till the uncle. Oh, here he is. So I was like, in this situation, here it comes. And now it doesn't feel so wrong to you, does it? Now it feels so right that you feel like you want to be on it. You're being bitchy about it too. Right. So, but what turns the tables, but his daughter almost dying.
Yeah.
Why do you have to have that kind of a moment to like finally bond? Fuck it. It is there. It is what it is. That was good though.
Yeah.
That was good. And then, nope, that's my husband. The whole thing leading up to it. The whole thing.
Mm-hmm. All of that.
All of the little bits in the house.
They didn't even need to do it.
Oh my God, the his and his towels. I died.
His and his towels. And then she started talking about Dinky, and I was like, is she gonna say that like Dinky's just old and bought the wrong thing, and like, you know what I mean? Like, I was dying. And then, the kiss. Oh, you look so beautiful in your wedding dress.
Yeah. But I think it was one of those things where he saw that his family unit not as his own, right? Because his sister was playing Santi's, wife and stuff, and he was looking at it from the outside, and then just didn't realize
from the outside
how lucky he really was, and that was, and he wanted to claim that, and good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that's what it took, but at least he
reached
that realization.
God, yeah, I really hope he gets better with Paloma after that and is like more involved, and it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that he was more involved this week. It's just he was still like more annoyed. They were trying to like try this thing, and he's like, I thought we had a good thing going. And
well, yeah, of course you thought you had a good thing going. Santi was doing all the work.
Oh my gosh, when Neil was describing how they like met and went through their courtship, I call it courtship because I'm old. But then the moment that he knew he was in love, it's like I fell in love with you under an umbrella. I was like, oh, there are so many like moments to go through. When you fall in love, and all of us are married. The four of us, I mean, but like so many of us gals were married and we're in these relationships, and it's like if you had to describe like that moment, like what would it be for you? Like it's so hard to break it down to words.
Mm-hmm.
Like that moment where you knew Like you were in love with this person. Like if you had to break it down, could you? In words.
I think it's hard when it's somebody that you've like known, you know, as opposed to somebody that
like you meet and then start dating.
And then like it clicks. So, but like somebody that you've like been around and just there's that slow build up sometimes, or there's that
there's
like
always something
smack.
that creates that
slow burn is a good burn though.
Yeah.
There's two, there's like that boom or that like,
yeah,
you know,
right.
Mine was
like,
more boom.
Where you look at them different and you're just like,
I had the
How many of you out there were friends with your spouses before you started dating or whatever?
That was
friends first.
That's why I had the
Well, hey Vanessa, welcome to the party, bitch. That's all the shit. Like
you're just always coming in late.
Yeah, what's she up to? Is it your kid's birthday this week?
Oh, she was studying. That's okay.
Oh,
get a
fine.
pass for that.
Wow. Gotta put the
Fine, go get your good grades. We're not a good enough excuse not to get one. So, like, you couldn't tell your teacher, like, oh, book club.
I have other reading.
Right, I have other reading.
I was reading for my other.
We're also your curriculum. Thank you.
We need to have a syllabus for you.
Regina was friends first. So can you pinpoint the moment that you knew? Like if you had to put it into words, can you pinpoint it? Like I fell in love with you when? Like, or is that just impossible? We moved in together like 3 weeks after we met. Bitch, same. Like, same. Same. Some of us same. But I didn't meet my husband when I was a child. I'm just kidding. You guys knew each other a long time.
We did. We knew each other for a long time, but we didn't talk because when we were youth group together, since 6th grade, so we knew each other, but didn't
12 years old.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, who's that guy? At first, but the funny thing is, he told me I love you first, but I was prepared to tell him I love you first. I had a whole set up going. We played cards a lot. So on the Ace of Hearts, I put I love you. And I was planning to play the game with him and it didn't happen. So I'm like, but I was like, okay, I can't. But as he was leaving, because we were 17, he had to leave my house. I'm about to shut the door. He's looking at me, he's like, I love you. I just stood there frozen and I'm like,
aww.
I just kind of froze and then said goodnight and closed the door on him.
Shock. Sometimes you just gotta like let it sit in.
But the next day I showed him the card. I was like, I promise you I made this card last week.
I was like, last night when I left because you felt
That's adorable.
That's adorable. She's dying. Caitlin. Dead. Okay. She said, when you know, you know. See? Same bitch. I knew. Same. Math exam tomorrow and a biology on Tuesday. Well, I like biology, but fuck math.
That's
Regina says we worked at McDonald's together in high school. Ooh.
Oh,
right. But if you had to sum up the moment you knew that you were in love with this person and this person was like the person.
He fixed the ice cream machine.
Which, by the way, doesn't always mean like the same thing. Like sometimes those things happen at different times. Like sometimes you can fall in love with someone and then not know until, you know, much later that this is truly the person, like the one person for you. Sometimes that's, again, a slow burn. But I like slow burn. I feel like that makes such a good story, too. Like when you're watching a movie and you watch like a whole friendship go down and then eventually it turns into something else because of like time spent in history. I'm like, ooh, such a good story. Mike and I moved in together pretty quick, got married less than a year from started dating. And CJ had his way.
Shaka.
Right? Haven't met the right person. Bitch, you will. You'll get there.
They are out there.
Everybody has their own
100%
timeline.
agree that everyone has a different timeline for when they meet their person.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Because there are so many people who don't even meet that person until much later in life.
I need to know more about this, Vanessa.
I know really fast, but
well, you already said it, so
like you're just gonna send the eggplant emoji.
Oh my god.
Right.
I have a really cheesy story.
Ooh, do tell.
My sister went to a different high school than I did, and like all the local high schools took their nerds to a math competition. And
were you in it or your sister? Were you gonna
both of us from different high schools, and that's how
you were both in high school, going to different high schools.
Yeah, my sister and I were. Yeah, she lived with my dad, and that's how we met. And y'all are either gonna not believe me or puke, but our first date was a high school dance, and the last song was November Rain, and as like the music ended and the lights came up and everyone was going home, there we were. Neither of us moved, and that was the moment.
Oh my heart. Wow. That is so fucking cute.
I feel it's special when you have that moment that you can like think about and go back to and revisit.
Yeah. CJ and I like had known each other for probably 2 weeks when I knew. I mean, I literally tripped walking in to meet him for the first time.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Desiree knew him before I did. I'd known his friends like kind of just briefly through other friends, and then Desiree had been like hanging out with him and his friends, and Desiree already knew him and his son Aiden. And so when we met, she was like, she knew that I was like just coming off a really bad relationship, and I was grouchy, and I had just gotten off work from In-N-Out, and I smelled like burgers and onions, and she's like, "Hey, you want to go to a house party?" And I was like, "Fine. But I'm not changing.
Fine.
I stink, and I don't fucking care, and I'm wearing sweats, and my hair's a damn mess." She's like, "Okay, I don't fucking care. CJ is going to be there." And I was like, "CJ?" And she was like, "Do you remember when I was talking about that guy who has a kid who's absolutely fantastic, and I know you're going to love him? He's going to be there tonight." And I was like, "Fine." Didn't change. Still smelled like burgers. But like walking into his house, I hadn't been to Josh's house before. So stepping into his house, like we went through like a side thing, and into his kitchen, there was a lip. Like, who has a step this high?
Old houses.
Fucking as Desiree walks in, everybody's starting to say their hellos, and I'm like the last one to come in. And I like everybody parts ways, and CJ's standing in the middle of the room, and I'm just looking at him. And I fucking tripped. I didn't hit the floor. You
literally fell for him.
I literally fell. Like I saw him and I tripped. I didn't see the fucking thing. Anyways, no, I mean I didn't fall, but I tripped like walking in, and then I had to play it cool all night, and so whatever. But it was like we started talking more, we hung out a little bit more like with the friends, and then at the end of like one night when we were hanging out with friends, we were just chit-chatting in the car one night, and I think it lasted until morning, and it had started raining, and I was like, this is it. Like, this is the person that I can tell everything to. And I didn't feel like I had to hold anything back, and I didn't feel like I needed to like, like preserve any information, worried that it wouldn't, that it would end something. So 2 weeks, fucking knew. We didn't discuss it until like 6 months later. But he's like, I knew then too. So when you know, I know I didn't have some like November rain moment, but it was raining in the car. Gotta love that rain though. Like, why is rain always surrounding falling in love? Under an umbrella.
Magical.
Okay, but can we talk about Anissa's comment?
Pop it right here.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's right. That's
right. To be able to tell that story, like just to start it off that way, already feels
that's like, cute though. Like you have that little, little bit.
Yeah, yeah, that's so cute. It feels like the start of a book. Like you might be able to write this one.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We met in prison.
Like it would be like right at the beginning, like you just start right off the bat, and then you hop back to like everything leading up to then.
Yeah.
But
Or I think when did they
Dead.
how they get in there? And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cute.
Anna, was yours a slow burn? I know that you were friends first.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I still remember the night that I first met Sean. I was at Johnny's in Redondo, which is now Brixton, which I think now is closed.
Yeah.
And I was standing at the back of the seating area at the bar, and he came in. So we met because we had a mutual friend, and she had bumped into him and invited him to come and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
So when he got there, I just caught him like looking at me all night. But I had somebody and he had somebody, but I remember just that night and like catching his glances all night, And then we just became friends and we all started hanging out. And then like come to find out later on that if he would find out that I wasn't going out that night with everybody, because like the whole group would all like chat like, oh, is everybody meeting up here? And if for whatever reason I wasn't going because I had plans or I didn't feel like it, he'd be like, I don't feel like going out tonight. Like he didn't want to be there if I wasn't going to be there.
I remember those days, those early days where you just show up to see them.
And then our first kiss was at original Johnny's in Costa Mesa or wherever it's at.
Yeah.
And Let's Stay Together was playing on the jukebox.
Oh,
yeah.
That's adorable.
Yeah. So I just thought about that. We first saw each other at Johnny's and our first kiss was at a Johnny's, but yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's such a good feeling though, like just the eye contact and like the side glances and the little things that like build to love and to like affection and to heat and even just crushes, things like that. Like when you like first had a crush on this person, it's like, God, that feels so good.
Yeah.
To like feel.
What about family secrets? Speaking of Dinky and everything, has anybody had like some like family secrets come up? Like going through
life?
Talking with, older family members and stuff like that you find out and you're just kind of like, what in the hell? Like,
not so much a secret, but after my grandmother passed away and my mom and sister were like cleaning out her house because she was kind of a craft hoarder, they found out she collected wooden penises. Like,
and then you find out that she was the coolest person on the planet. Like, what?
She's a little bit friskier than we realized.
Yeah. I think
oh my God.
Friskier than you would imagine. They just don't talk about it like we do.
This lady was like, she baked pies and she did square dancing and
oh my gosh, she was like
made like she gave us like matching outfits for Christmas. My sister
it's all about balance.
Now you know how she was able to achieve that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anissa, I'm done.
She was a happy woman.
Hers was a slow ass burn, and bitch, this is a book. Write it.
Yep.
Kind of is. We got close, but he transferred, both separately married, 14 years later, found me after his divorce, and we started dating. You've got to be kidding.
Wow.
Okay, did he go looking for you or you happened to come across him?
It was like just a by chance thing. Like not by chance, but a meant to.
Or are you going to make us wait for the book? No. Tell us now, and then we will read the book, and we'll discuss it in book club later.
We'll write it all together.
When Rebecca finally fucking turns out what she's going to write, we're gonna read it together, and we're going to discuss it as a book club. We'll give her a rating and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
Like, I really don't think you need to be afraid of the bitches of all people. You need to be afraid of like Goodreads or
who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Nah, fuck them.
Yeah, I'm going to read every single one of them though, because
we're a safe place here. So,
but back to like family secrets. I don't know if it was a secret. We were talking about like grandparents not talking or not asking the right question. My mom was always an open book and just told me everything about her life, which I felt helped me make certain decisions. based on her being so open.
Yeah.
But my grandma, I loved her. She scared me. She's very strict. Very like you couldn't lean against the wall. You had to stand. Yeah, you had to stand a certain way. You know, all these like really strict rules. But she was very loving also. My mom had half brothers that when her dad died when she was 13, my grandma just like moved to Florida for 2 years and then Hawaii. So my mom separated from her family. My mom reconnected with them a few years ago. And then I found out that my grandma was a general in WAC. And I'm like, why did she never tell me that? Why did she never even talk about that part of her life? How cool is that? And everything now makes sense about how she was.
She was very regimented, it sounds like.
Very.
Wow. Yeah. Well, she was a general.
So I don't think it was a secret. You know, it was just something that just never came up.
Didn't know to talk about, right?
But I was just like, I wish she had brought that up because I would have had so many questions.
Right.
And could have learned so much.
You know, and people didn't ask questions as much as like we do now. Like we want to know these people deeper and we want to know more about who they were and what they, you know, felt and what their experiences were and how they became this person that we know later in life. But, you know, our generations above us, like they didn't ask those questions and they, you know, felt like they didn't want to pry and a personal life is personal and things like that. But I think that it's good to get to know some of those personal things, not all, because I do think that there are some that we should all be able to keep on our heart to the day we die.
Yeah.
But, you know, some that are just for us. I got plenty that I will never share.
So I found out that I had another uncle. I was in my 20s.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to say that maybe he was a couple years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandpa in Peru, he was with my step grandmother. That's fucking weird, but anyway, right? Because, you know, my grandmother passed when my dad was little and she couldn't have any kids. So he ended up getting one of the girls that worked on their property pregnant for her to give the baby to his wife so that she had a child to raise. And my dad and his brothers didn't know anything about him until, I mean, I was in my 20s.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's a family secret.
He looks just like my grandpa. And two uncles, like, want nothing to do with him. Like, you're not our brother. We don't know what the hell was going on. And my dad and my other uncle, like, accepted him. And my sister still talk to him all the time. And he's a police officer over there and stuff. And yeah,
wow.
Crazy.
That's a big family secret. This is funny. Am I certain there were family secrets? Yes. Do I know any of them? No. My grandparents were phenomenal secret keepers. So I found out recently, I think it was my mom's dad, my grandmother, my mom's mom, whatever. She was talking to me about like, you know, family history and stuff. And there's, I guess, family from Australia or New Zealand. No, New Zealand, specifically New Zealand. And I was like, New Zealand? How the fuck did any family come from New Zealand? So my grandfather's mom, so my great grandmother, is from New Zealand, right? I only knew her until I was like maybe a toddler. She passed away when I was a toddler, I think. But she had been kidnapped by her father, her and her brother. So they were in New Zealand as kids, and their father kidnapped the two of them and like hopped on a boat and came to America.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they did not know for like a long ass time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like they had
That's wild.
And like taken completely to another country. And I can't remember what the reasoning being other than the parents were like at it. did not get along. So, anyways, like I don't have the full story on that. I'll find out more for you guys.
That's crazy.
Next week. I'll talk to Graham, see what she has. But remember, Graham only has certain information because she was married to my grandfather. So, and it's his parents that, his mom that went through it. So, like, there's only so much info you can get when you're like married into the family. And if people don't ask questions, like,
well, now I take it back.
Are you allowed to?
That's me. I know more about Sean's family than he knows about his own damn family because I asked all the questions.
Thank you. There is, and then there's some of us that are like, "Ooh, tell me everything."
Well, see, when Grandma died, we didn't know that information about her. It was the brothers because they knew that growing up.
Hey, guess what?
I met my great aunt, my grandma's sister, when she died. She flew out here from New Jersey. And then we're starting to ask all these questions because they're like, okay, grandma's dead. We want to know. She would not say anything. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I can't remember. Keeping everything a secret. Or like, well, okay, we know this and this and this, and this adds up. Oh, I really don't know. Oh, I'm so frustrated with her.
I remember finding out about Nana's travel from Yugoslavia to America and hearing the stories for the first time of her being in El Shot camps in Egypt and stuff. And I mean, it's just like when you get to that age and you start to hear the stories and where your grandparents come from and what they went through, it's just like, I remember my reaction to all of that. That was crazy.
Well, see, that's the thing. Everything adding up, we were certain by putting pieces together that they escaped Germany. They were Jewish, but they do not say they were. And we were like asking all these questions, and she's just like, I just don't remember how we got here.
Yeah. I mean, Nana was very secretive about a lot of things. Like I told you, we were going through her cedar chest one day and we found these letters and we started kind of just looking through to see what it was because we needed to know what to save and what. And they were love letters between her and my grandpa from when he would go out, on these big mission trips. But she got so embarrassed because they're just very different. And they, that's their private thing. So she ended up burning them because she didn't want later on for us to, anybody to read them because that was between her and him. And I get that, so it's like certain things she's very open with us about, and she likes us to know the struggles that she had to be grateful for how we live now. But those other things, those intimate moments, but then sometimes she's a fucking dirtbag and she'll talk about like sexy time and shit. And like, she's very open to let us know that when she got married, which was on New Year's Eve, she got her period that night and was all upset because she was a virgin until she got married. So, I was like, oh my God.
And then, oh my.
None of that. But look, speaking of generational gap, I was talking with some girls at work and I did this side-by-side photo and I sent it to my family and we were tripping out. So look at that resemblance.
Oh, wow.
That is my dad at about maybe 17 in military school and Desi, my son.
That's fun.
That's incredible.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah.
See I see pictures of my mom at like 14, 15, and it's like my niece Diana. It's just
crazy
when you can see family resemblance through. I mean, and it skips a generation or two sometimes. It's just weird.
Yeah. Desiree's not youngest anymore, but Ben looks exactly like our dad's dad. Like,
oh yeah,
he's a little mini boppy. Like every single part of his face, like he just looks like a little Italian dude. Like just looks exactly like our grandfather.
And Presley,
I mean, he still looks like his dad. Like he looks a lot like Manny, but he didn't take any of Desiree except for our grandfather, and it is strong.
See, Presley resembles Sean's aunt, his Aunt Duty. if you look at photos of her when she's little, it's Presley. That's her mini me. And I'm like, how weird. His dad's sister. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, there was a hot second though, Sean's sister's daughter.
Oh,
exactly like a Presley clone. Like a hot minute, I was like, what the fuck?
Yes.
When you sent me photos, I was like, have I already seen this photo?
I know.
I feel like I haven't seen this photo, but like I've seen this child.
Mm-hmm.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
You don't look anything like now, I feel like it's definitely
no. Yeah, I know, but my in-laws still call her Presley all the time. And she eats like Presley. And so Bruiser 1 and Bruiser 2 are going to be hanging out this week coming up.
I cannot wait to see them as they grow.
I'm so excited. Well, I'm just excited for Presley to be with her this week. It's going to be fun. And for Desi and Gunnar, I know Gunnar's going to have a field day.
It's so exciting. That was a crazy resemblance, right? My mother-in-law posted pictures of us in elementary school recently. It looked like dead on my middle daughter. See?
Yep.
So weird. So weird. I didn't have any of my kids, so I don't even get to experience that, but I can through Desiree. So.
But you know what's creepy is that Aiden looks a lot like you.
Aiden looks like my mom, which is weird because CJ has like black hair and like a darker like hazel eye and was kind of freckly and fair skinned. Aiden is like CJ's build almost exactly, very thin, like muscle is there, but it's low and, freckly face, but he had like neon orange, like red hair as an infant. And that does not come from CJ's side. That comes from his birth mom's side. Everyone, I think one of her sisters has like 6 kids or some shit. Maybe it's her aunt. I don't know. Anyways, all fucking redheads, like neon redheads, exactly like Aiden, all freckly. CJ sees like, their resemblance. I see CJ's resemblance because I don't really know his family or like his ex's family. But then you see Aiden and you see my mom, and my mom's got red hair, this like bright green, blue eye, freckly everywhere. And everyone's like, I remember when we were all younger, people just assumed my mom was Aiden's mom.
Oh, really?
I was like, okay, well, fuck you. But
that's not weird at all.
he does. And because there's no connection whatsoever. Like I just married into the kid, you know what I mean? And for him to look like my mom is amazing. But
you go.
He was meant to be in our family, obviously. Yes. He looks just like my mom. But
and if you and CJ would have had a kid,
it would have just been Aiden.
That's it.
It probably would have been Aiden. Yeah, that like red hair would have skipped a generation. It would have just been him. But yeah. Like I think Lily maybe has like occasional red strands in her hair from my mom, but that's it. Although we've seen Odin in certain lighting, he's got that like light hair.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure what color it's gonna go yet. Ugh, he's such a fucking cute kid. He's like literally my sister's double. Tell me why we cannot find a baby photo of my sister right now. We've been trying to find a baby photo of my sister for a while. For some reason, we just cannot find it. Like we look through a few books and we get chit chatting and then we like forget to continue and then we re-look through things. You know what I mean? Or like everybody go check every photo you have and see this baby is my sister's double. It's all I see. Every single time I'm sent a new photo, I'm like, that's just her. But we cannot find one fucking photo of her to prove it.
So funny.
Like at all.
I just found an album that has my mom's first communion pictures. Like her Holy Communion when she made her communion and stuff. So she was real young. Mm-hmm. Found an album with all those in it.
Wow. Yeah. That's fun. Old pictures are fun.
Those are lookers.
Oh my goodness. I think we just before I forget, I don't think we like didn't touch on anything that anybody kind of brought up in the discussion post. I just wanted to check. No, I think we kind of covered everything that was brought up in the discussion post here. We didn't talk about Sam and Isabel. They got back together.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just when he finally starts to move on. He finally starts to process it and get over her. And then she's like, and Anna convinces her to come back.
Yeah. I don't think he ever would have gotten over her.
No, not fully. No, because she was the one, like, their interests are the same. And to have such an odd set of interests and for those to be like so important, I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was really sweet. That's what I was saying. When like Anna had to admit like to her flaws, being like, I was fucking jealous. Clearly that's how I treated you. Like,
yeah.
And she's like, what are you talking about? You had nothing to be jealous over. All he does is talk about you. Like, you're like meeting fucking Pope. So I thought that was really a good moment for them and for both of them to be able to like move forward in their like separate directions when it comes to Sam. It was really cool. But then right after that, she brought Sam to meet their daughter. So that was interesting. I thought that was kind of odd. Like, that was a really good, like,
well, I thought it was funny finding out that she wasn't even there for a date, but to meet her mom.
Right. She's like, it's a fucking bingo.
Yeah.
I was like, the best. Why are you complaining? I want to go bingo. I mean, I'm not 40, but I may as well be. I'm ready. Ready to be 40.
I'm over 40 and I'm not ready to play bingo.
I mean, I play bingo.
Yeah, for some bingo. It depends on what the pot is. You know, I'm down.
I just like to yell bingo. So.
Can we do like rockabilly bingo or something? Can we create?
I don't know what that is, but it sounds fun.
Right?
I'm in.
That sounds like a night. You gotta like plan it on here. We could do like a bingo night, and we're all like, we all dressed up. We have some fun music, and I'm down. Look,
I remember playing bunco with a couple of ladies one time.
I mean, I still don't know how to play bunco, even though it came up in our.
I know bunco. It's fun.
Bunco's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah,
I'm down for bunco.
We had a bunco group where we used to live. It was like just some ladies in our neighborhood. And like the first couple weeks we got together and actually played bunco. And and then like the third week we got together and we socialized for an hour, and then we finally started to play bunco. And by the fourth night, we socialized so long we didn't have time to play bunco.
Look,
and that was the end of bunco.
Tell me you're old without telling me you're old. When we make comments like this, bunco is hella fun.
Like you
but the word hella is in there.
No,
so,
but hella, I hate that word.
But like, I know you don't. But like, but just to say, we're at this age where bunco and hella is in the same sentence.
Located in NorCal for a hot minute.
Like bunco's fire when they're like 40. Bunco's fire.
Bitch, I'm 33.
Like, I'm still a baby, y'all.
That's old, bitch. We old.
You know what I remember about turning 30? And I hope that there like some significant thing is with 40 next year because I can't fucking wait. Like every significant birthday age I've had, I'm celebrating the shit out of it because I only get to do it once. So I'm not going to sit here moping about, oh, I'm turning 30, oh, I'm turning 35, oh, I'm turning 40. Fuck that. I'm excited about all of them. Every single one of them. Make it a blast. So I remember the month I turned 30, my eyelashes flattened.
What?
Thank you. So I didn't have to use an eyelash curler before August when I turned 30. Like that month, I remember my eyelashes literally like flattened. So like, you know, when you like not wearing makeup and you're just looking at your face, you're like, I have no eyelashes. Right. I had to start curling them that month.
Wow.
So it's now been almost 10 years. I've had to like actually curl my eyelashes to get them to like do more than just stick straight out. But it was literally the month that I turned 30 that I realized that. And I had like a little dry patch of skin above my eyebrow. And I swear it just comes up and I'm like, God, moisturize it, Grandma. Like, there are things.
Before I turned 30, my brother, he's 3 years older than me, he was like, you'll know. He's like, you'll know. Because once you hit 30, it's like, I don't know what it is, but you start feeling your body.
All the things.
And sure enough, I'm like, you know, doing stupid stuff. You turn 30, like, wow. Like,
it's 2 years till I'm 50. I hope you fucking celebrate the shit out of 50. Oh,
absolutely.
God. Yeah. It better be your favorite age.
I'll have to celebrate because I'll be shocked I made it that far.
Stupid.
Because now both my elbows are feeling fucked up. And I think I've got
that's what I'm saying. You feel your body.
Knuckles and
when you start having these like random things that occur, like I don't know when the fuck that happened, but like why do I have like a fucking like rug burn on my elbow. Like I didn't fall anywhere. I didn't hit anything. CJ looked at me like
if Des was on here tonight, she'd be like, we should ask CJ. He'll be able to tell us what you have.
Rug burn. Yeah.
No.
I'm surprised she's not in the comments already.
That should be why. But that's not why.
She's snoring.
Yeah.
My 40th last year when I turned 40 was like the biggest for me. When I turning 30 was like nothing. It was like, oh, this isn't so bad. This is fine. But when I turned 40, I was like, I am gonna do something really big. I'm gonna celebrate myself. And I had a bunch of my 2 best friends from high school and my 2 like adult best friends from the and my mom and my sister, and I flew back east and we rented this like 3-bedroom like cabin barn thing in wine country. And
you sent us photos.
It was too nice. But it was like the best. And it was like such good memories. And it's probably a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was like I saved. And I said, I'm just going to pay for it because I'm just going to pay for the hotel because this is what I want for my birthday. And that was what I did.
That's amazing. I think like celebrating yourself is such an incredible thing.
Great.
You know, to be able to do that at like a specific age is incredibly awesome because you won't always get to have those moments. And obviously like your mom got to be a part of it. And so there's going to be that age when like she couldn't, but it's just, that's super incredible. I do remember your photos from that. And I was like, ooh, bitch, that looks like something I got to do.
Yeah. And they were all people who were a part of my life at a time in my life where it was like
significant.
Critical. Like it's something really significant. The two girls that I grew up, women, the 2 women that I grew up with, like I was friends with them from like kindergarten on. It would be like you guys getting together for this.
Yeah.
And then there was my one friend when we moved out here that I was the closest to, and then my one friend back in Texas, and it was like I'll never be able to top it. It was awesome. But I'm really glad it's probably the only time I'll do it, but I'm really glad I did it. And then this year was like completely different. It was just, my husband and the girls, but it was the same thing. It was like it was perfect. It was exactly what I needed.
Yeah. There have been some birthdays where I'm like, I don't really do anything. Is that okay?
I've been there.
I just don't feel like celebrating. Like, I don't want to do anything. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't need to give me anything.
I just want something
it's my birthday. I want to do what I want with it.
Right. Like, maybe like make me something cool to eat. Like, let's eat some good food. Like, I just don't really want to do anything more. Is that okay? Like, are you going to be upset if like I just want to hang? Like, I don't want any gifts. I want you to like cook me some food maybe. Yeah. So you just hang out, have a cool, like easy night. Like, I mean, and I'm not a quiet night kind of person pretty much ever. So I'm sure he's like, oh, fuck. She doesn't want to celebrate her birthday. There must be something up. But really, it's just like occasionally you just want to chill. I don't know. Anna and I turned 40 this coming year. Look, bitch. And you do it first, and I can't fucking wait. We got to celebrate. We got to do
anything. I'm not doing a fucking thing. I'm going to recreate what my 30th looked like. I was trying to find a picture right now. My 30th, I went up to my mom's because I wanted to be with my mom on my birthday. And Desi was, 2? I think he had just turned 2. And I have a picture of myself at a restaurant with some fucking cowboy hat that said something, it's your 30th. And Desi was asleep on my chest. Call it a day. Done.
That's a good birthday, though, having a baby right there.
Yeah. So I'll do that for my 40th. I'll tell him, come on, come lay on me. I'll sleep.
Oh.
Happy 40th.
I remember one year for my birthday. I don't remember how old I was turning. It was late, like early 30s, but I had been super sick for like a couple months leading up to this birthday. And like the day of my birthday, I was like super, super sick, like ended up in the hospital.
Oh no.
Got home and like that Friday or something, my husband's like, let's go out to dinner. I wasn't really feeling it because I was still just not completely recovered, and moving out to dinner. And while we were out to dinner, his mom's back at our house setting up a surprise birthday party for me. So we go out to dinner, we get home, and I was like, No, it was awesome. I mean, I still didn't feel very good, but I was like, I really needed it because I had been just.
You've been going through it for a while.
I had been going through it, and I'm not someone who like is good at slowing down, and I needed to slow down. I was forced to slow down because I was sick, and then I get there and this surprise part, and I was like so emotional because it was just what I needed.
Aw, that's so sweet. So, I don't want a surprise party.
Awesome.
I did one for Sean's 30th. Remember the redneck one?
Yeah. Do I remember the redneck one?
That was fun.
When you told me to do like beer can curling on my hair, and I fucking did. And Sean didn't have to dress up.
Right.
But his cousin came in like overalls with no shirt on, and basically like a little hay sticking out of his teeth.
Yeah. Oh, God. He definitely did not have to dress up.
That was a fucking fun.
His cousin used to do bull riding.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were on cross country, like for your birthday this year.
Wait, bull riding?
Yeah, his cousin was a bull rider.
Wow.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Ooh, my 25th birthday, I was super fucking sick. I had shingles.
What?
Oh, that sounds awful.
At what? How old?
Oh yeah. So you want to like talk about shit you remember? At
how old?
Like that month I got shingles, like bad shingles. Like it started at my like in my back. I had this like really mean like if you could feel like a knot just like slowly pushing deeper and deeper from the outside of your back.
I heard this horrible
feeling where it like hits like in your spine and then into your muscles and then into your fucking organs. So like I just had this knot in my back, and I was like, I went to the doctor and I was like, God, I had this knot in my back. They took an x-ray. They were like, there's nothing. I don't know what to tell you. You can take some pain meds. And I was like, pain meds don't work. They were like, do you want muscle relaxers? I was like, muscle relaxers don't work. What am I supposed to do? Take a hot shower. Okay, well, that's not going to help me because then a week later, I get like a blister on my back, like just a tiny blister. And then it starts curling around and it went under my boobs. So literally I had that full band on the right side, the whole right side of my body from literally the top of my head down to my toes. Felt like it was on fire for 45 days.
Oh my God.
Like if you could get in the shower and feel like the acid rain that we've all like heard about is happening. Acid rain on the entire right side of my body. I would get in the shower and I would just cry, and I couldn't lift my arms because like you don't even realize what it does to like your organs inside. It felt like my organs were in a vice. So breathing hurt, like eating hurt. I couldn't eat that month, like month and a half, whatever it was, because I could just drink like the little, Ensure shakes. It was like, just fucking eat because I don't want you to die. And then I would get in the shower and I couldn't even like wash my own hair because I couldn't lift my arms. So I would get in and I would just cry. And he'd be like sitting there like washing my hair and I would just be crying. Like I can't even do anything. Like it felt like my skin was being ripped off and then burned by chemicals and like the whole right side of my body. And so then it took about a month and a half and I just laid in bed like I'm fucking happy forever. And you can't be comfortable. It was horrible. So happy 25th. That was fucking.
You're like an advertisement for the shingles vaccine right now.
Thank you. And guess what happened?
Like, let me just go schedule that real quick.
Comes out like just a few years after this, and I was like, oh my God, there's shingles vaccine. And if you've had shingles, it can reoccur, similar to like chicken pox. Like they say, oh, it can never come back. Bullshit. Like,
no, I've known people that have had shingles, and they
it's bad. It is the worst thing. I would not wish shingles on.
And if you've what's the thing? If you've had chicken pox, then you would.
It lies dormant.
You're susceptible. Like once you have the chicken pox in you, you have the shingles come out.
Yeah, so it just stays dormant, and there was nothing that set it off. I wasn't sick. I had nothing going on.
Because in the 80s, we all had chicken pox parties.
Yeah.
Hey, you have I remember that. Yeah. I had chicken pox. I had so many friends over.
Yeah,
I've never played more with people.
There was no itchy. There was just tears because I thought that like my skin was being ripped off like all day long. Every organ hurt. Like I didn't want to sit up.
I didn't realize about the organ. I've heard about
I didn't realize
the body and the pain.
It's your nerves.
Yeah.
That's what affects
people, because when Erica got shingles, hers was more internal. And she had a small bits of outbreak on the skin, but it was it's your nervous system inside.
So she
get internal shingles, which is super painful. Nana had it where it kind of broke out on the surface, but yeah, it's
harder if you don't have it on the surface because you can't tell or realize.
Why I kept explaining to the doctors like it hurts deep inside, like it feels like something stabbing through my lungs. And all of my organs hurt, and they were like, what? And then I remember, like, a couple weeks later, I had gone into like like an urgent clinic or whatever, and the doctor there was in such like good spirits. It was annoying. He came in and he was like, "Okay, we're gonna test you, blah blah blah." And he comes in, he was like, "You've got the zoster," and I was like, "The zoster?"
Yeah. Did he do this too? Like,
shingles is like considered herpes, right? But it's called like herpes zoster. So it's just like, it's completely different. But the point is, he was like, "You've got the zoster." And I was like,
he did that?
Yes.
I might have heard of it. He's like, "I figured it out."
It's literally, "You've got the zoster." And then he was like, "Hey, your socks don't match." And I was like, "Can we talk more about the zoster?"
He said the socks. What the hell?
My socks
they never do.
Yeah.
I would have been like, bam, now your eyes don't match.
He must have, he must be on the spectrum. He was probably on the spectrum.
He might have been. I would not be surprised.
He was on the spectrum. I'm going to say that. Because you just say what you see.
Yeah.
That get excited.
So anyways, after all that, the vaccine comes out, and I was like, I had shingles at 25. Can I have the vaccine? No.
Why?
Why can't I have
Because you've had it?
You literally cannot have the vaccine until you're 55 years old. What are the exceptions on that? There's no exception on that. You cannot have it until you're 55 years old. My grandmother, the second it went out, she was like getting it. And she's like, I will never have shingles. Never. After what I went through. Never. Oh, God. Kill me now. If you told me I had shingles again. Oh. I think it was a few weeks ago. I had the same pain in my back. And I was like crying to CJ. I was like, if it happens again,
maybe you can get the vaccine in Mexico.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Just take a cruise, get off, find a pharmacy.
Oh, first of all, you said the C word, and I am not. This is where
I love me a good cruise. I'm gonna be an old cruising biddy when I get older.
This is where we segue into our novel bitches cruise.
You're gonna hear me. I'm
gonna be nothing to complain.
Less than I'm cruising.
Can you imagine if our retreat was like a fucking cruise? I would be the worst. You guys would finally experience like me not fun.
Seen it.
Mute this bitch.
Wait, why don't you want to go on a cruise?
Turns out, first of all, get claustrophobic.
There's big cruises.
You won't be claustrophobic on a cruise.
Mm-hmm.
There's big. You don't need
a room. I would probably struggle with.
We're not a submarine.
I know you have to get a balcony room, so you can open it up and be outside on your balcony and stuff. But I mean, I've been on cruises where there's days where it feels like there's nobody else on the fucking boat. Like the boat is so big and people are off doing their thing that it's not even crowded.
It's not claustrophobic.
Until you have to go eat, and then there's like a million people there.
No, they have time slots.
Yeah, you go to your dining room, or you can get food for your.
You have like the dining time where you can dress up and look nice, and it's like only so many people. Or you have the buffet.
It's like it's prom. Oh my god!
Yes, you dress up.
It is awesome.
Jessica, you and I can just stay off the fucking boat. Like that's that.
No fun. No.
Okay, but what if it's a haunted cruise?
No. Okay, I might do a haunted cruise if I had to, but like, see,
they just had a New Kids on the Block cruise.
I saw that, bitch. I saw that. Well, you and I saw that together.
Too young for New Kids on the Block.
What?
Before. How old were you when they were?
We're a year younger than you.
I was like 3rd, 4th grade. I remember jamming out to them.
Oh my God. And then Anna took me to go see New Kids on the Block.
Oh yes.
Because her sister got tickets and didn't want to go.
Yep. Well, her boss had
to want to go. What an
idiot. Would go.
And we got to see Salt and Peppa and Rick Astley. Oh my God. And Vogue. Oh, they were amazing. That was amazing. Amazeballs.
Yep.
I might do that on a cruise. But I'm going to tell you right now, like, I also didn't realize that I got like seasick. I thought I was like cool on water, but I'm not cool on water.
There's medicine for that.
Yeah, but cruises are so big that you don't feel it like you do on a smaller boat.
Says somebody who doesn't experience it clearly. I've
gotten seasick.
Who were
I've gotten seasick when I went to San Francisco on a cruise because the waters were so choppy. But every other cruise I've been on, you're fine.
Nope. I've heard from everybody else, like, you just get over it. Like,
third time's a charm.
Yes, all the medicines are there. Yeah, all this, that, and the other is there. But like, you're just gonna get sick, and then you're gonna get over it. And Desiree, like, she loved her cruise, but she gets really motion sick. She's like, I did the medicines, I did the little pressure point things, they did it all. She's like, I basically just kept a buzz the whole time. And you know, Desiree told me, she literally kept a buzz the whole time she was on a boat, so she didn't have to feel it. And I was like,
sounds fun.
I don't think that I can keep a buzz because I drink a lot more than you.
Well, look, Dominique, me and you can go on the cruise ship. They can Uber from port to port and just meet us there.
I'm down. Totally down.
We'll be like, all right, meet you in Ensenada, bitch. We'll just take off.
Party on the way.
Yeah, Dominique's gonna take me to go get a fucking shingles vaccine, y'all.
Yeah, I'll find them. I'll find a pharmacy.
It'll be in Spanish, but if it looks similar, we'll be all right.
They use it for Green Cross. Green Crosses in other countries are different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
True that.
True that. I'm cool with, like, just sticking on land or taking a flight somewhere. I'm cool with that.
Then take a flight to all our cruise destinations.
Mm.
Burn.
Y'all are rude.
I'd rather take one flight. Get to some place where I can
best way
settle down, settle in.
Yeah.
You unpack once. You get to hit different ports. You wake up at a new destination.
Food's always available.
Food. Oh my God, that's the best thing. When I would get off the cruise ship, I would forget that I had to pay for shit. I was like, oh, I gotta buy. Okay, not a problem. Let me buy that. Oh my God, Vegas shows, slot machines, like my God,
it's a party.
And you get to take prom photos every night.
I love it. You get to dress. I like dressing up.
Feels like paparazzi. Like you got your own photographer every night, and then you get to go find all your photos at the end of the trip. It's amazing. I love it.
I've never been on a cruise, and I've seen entirely too many of those articles that say this is what the ads look like and this is what it really looks like. So tell me the truth. Does it look as bad as the this is what it really looks like photos where it's super crowded?
If you have standards, don't go on Carnival. That's all.
I went on Carnival and they were fine.
I said I did Carnival.
Yeah.
And I was fine. But if you want like a luxury thing,
yeah,
Carnival's not luxury.
Like a lot of it has to do with like the time of year and the location. So
yeah. There's a transitional cruise that we wanted. What was that?
We almost did a Disney cruise one year when the girls were younger.
I wanted a Disney cruise.
But because they do like a really good military discount, but we didn't end up doing it because we waited too long and the cabins that we wanted were sold out. And the only thing you could get was like the $10,000 concierge cabin. And we're like, maybe not.
Yeah. So there's certain cruises that they do like transitional cruises where like part of the year they do one way, another part they do another route. And so like there's like an Alaskan cruise where 1 or 2 months out of the year they have one route and it's cheaper. And it's cheaper because they're switching their route and so they have less amenities. If you're not looking for like to do all the things on the ship.
Right.
But everything's pretty much open still. So there's things like that.
Well, and because Alaskan cruise, people want to go during more of the winter time. They want to see the glaciers. So if you go in the spring, it's a little bit different too.
Yeah.
But that's still on my list. I want to do an Alaskan cruise.
See, I want to do
and I want to do the European, the Adriatic.
They have a transitional one where it hops into 2 places, the transitional cruises.
I don't know which one my mom did, but my mom did the Alaskan cruise out of San Francisco. So they flew up and they went out of San Francisco and they went up and did that. She said it was amazing. And she did feel similarly to cruising that I do. So it's possible. See, there's my mama.
Yeah.
Yes, did it from San
They have them out of Washington too.
Oh, she's talking about the transitional one?
So that wouldn't even, like, I'm not interested.
Second week of May. That's actually not a bad time of year to do something like that.
Yeah.
I know. If she's talking about the one I'm talking about, they moved it to April, which makes sense. It's not far away. But there's the transition one in April. I
want to do like Greece or something. That I would get on.
That's the one at Adriatic. It goes through and you'll hit Italy and Greece and all that. Oh, I would love to do that, like a Mediterranean.
My grandmother just did that like a few years ago. She did one and like went into France and a few other places. Night, babe. We'll see you next week. But yeah, she said that was a fantastic cruise because they did a lot of really amazing stops. But yeah, it wasn't too long ago. She's like, when you get older and you can't walk as much, like it's harder to do different kinds of traveling, and cruising is an easier kind of travel. But she's done every type of travel. So she's done, I think, the like boat down the Mississippi. She said that was fantastic. She said everybody should do that.
Mom, and I just love the fun days at sea because it gives you an opportunity to just relax. Like there's nowhere else you can go. You're out to sea for a day.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, oh, do I have to get off today? Or if I don't get off, I'm going to miss something. It makes you relax, which is nice. And like, I will never forget the feeling of being out on the back deck of a ship that large, especially at night when you cannot see land, and that feeling of being like this small in the world.
You want to know? So
you know what I mean? It's like it gives you just that perspective. Like it's just an incredible feeling.
Houston and I went on a cruise. We were 18, and evidently you're not supposed to go on a cruise when you're 18 without somebody older, right? Like, but I fought it because he had just gotten back from Iraq. We already got the tickets. We're about to board, and they're like, "Oh, you're 18." We're like, "You're 18." Oh, well, you need somebody like, I don't know what the age was, like 20 something. I'm like, well, you guys sold us the tickets. You put our ages. You sold us the tickets. And I pulled the whole like, so you're saying that he can fight for the country but can't go on a cruise?
Good for you.
And she's like, oh, hold on. And she left. I came back. She's like, okay, we'll put you guys on.
Yeah, you will.
Nice.
There's a reason why they shouldn't have put us on. There's a reason why. We were too young. Because Anna says back of the ship. We're on the back of the ship. Alone. It was cute. He was going to propose to me, but he forgot the ring in his car. But
no!
I knew he had a ring. The whole time we were there, every moment, I'm like, now's the time. Be ready. He didn't tell me.
Proposed anyway, and then just said, "I'll give you." I left the ring in the car.
Yeah, the car is like when we park. Well, yeah, but we're on the back of the ship. It was awesome, like just open waters. I had the right idea. I was like, hey, there's like a tray of plates over there. Let's frisbee them off the ship. So we were like.
Kids like you that now they can't even go to Knott's Berry Farm by themselves. I'm done, Dominique. I'm gonna call Carnival right now.
It was fun. We were like the planes were going far.
I'm done.
Oh my!
That's why they were.
You're lucky they didn't put you in cruise jail.
I am.
There's a cruise jail.
Oh, I could have said, well, we shouldn't be on here, but you let us on.
Well, yeah, if you do something like bad or you're drunk or violent, whatever, they have a jail downstairs.
That makes sense.
Holding sale. Oh yeah.
There she is.
Well, see, when you're 18, you can't drink on the boat, but I could drink in Mexico.
Right.
When you get off.
Right.
And then he's going to literally carry me on.
Sounds about right.
Well, at least you didn't miss the ship, so that's good.
I almost did.
That was always my worry.
The problem would be there'd be no way to get away from people.
So
I guess it sounds like maybe they're not as crowded. Some of them.
Yeah, so talk about missing the ship.
Some of them.
We're leaving Ensenada.
To get away from people.
We gave ourselves a limit of how much we'd spend, and then we spent it all. And I'm like, let's find an ATM.
Oh,
so
no.
Yeah, it was bad. It was so bad.
It can't end well.
And so we're getting back on the ship. It does the horn thing, like we gotta get back. He places me. I remember this. I remember him like him against the wall, so he finds our cards to get back on the ship. So he's looking through his pockets, finds the cards, and then I was gone. I had wandered out of the terminal to go back.
Yep.
And he had to find we didn't have cell phones.
Oh,
he found me though. He found me and carried me onto the boat.
And that was when Dominique knew that he was the one. That was the moment.
That is the moment.
When he threw my drunk ass over his shoulder and took me back to the coast.
He rescued
stuck in Mexico.
That is the moment. I just wasn't aware.
He's all this bitch. Just toss her over.
Well, I came out of Papa's and beer.
And that's where we were.
Yeah, I had to pay off a Pop because he was trying to get me for drunk in public. I said, of course I'm drunk in public. I just came out of Papa's and beer and I'm trying to get to my cruise ship. Like, how the hell else am I supposed to not be in public? So because they do that shit to get paid off, so I had to pay her off. And then there was a shop and I wanted to bring back an outfit for my niece who was like maybe 2 at the time. And I got her this Mexican dress and I was like, oh my God, they've got knit sombreros. So I bought it, didn't think nothing of it. I get home and I'm going through my suitcase and the dress fits her cute and it's a sombrero for a dog. It's like this big on her head. Oh my God.
But it's like a little, it sounds cute.
Yeah, there's a picture of her with
probably adorable.
Sitting on her head like this. Died.
Oh, Dominique, did you have one?
They would have if they knew if I would stay another night. They probably would have, but I was leaving, so they wanted to get rid of me.
Wow.
Yeah, fun.
See, cruises are fun.
Cruises are fun.
Lots of
stories. Until you get stranded in Mexico.
No, somebody will carry you back on.
Yeah. My Caribbean cruise.
If he tried to throw me over his shoulder and carry me back to the cruise ship, he'd probably throw us back out.
Tom would have left me and been like, look, I'll be back for you in a couple days.
He'd have been like, you got your phone, you got your wallet, bye.
Right. He might have gotten on and been like, hey, I was just gonna say this, you need a wheelbarrow, somebody go get that bitch.
Yeah. Oh, but they're no joke. When it's time to leave,
they go.
They're gone. If you're not there, you're not fucking there. They don't care
because they do certain warnings.
Yeah, they know who has not made it back because you have to swipe your room key and it shows your picture as you're coming on, and they'll know who's missing because when you disembark, it shows that you left the boat. Some people like to stay on the boat. You have to. So they'll know that you're gone, but they will not stay and wait.
No, they got a schedule.
It's hysterical.
That's why Houston was freaking out. That's why thank God he found me.
Yep. Gotta love it.
Wow. We were back an hour before. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, that would be.
I thought I was gonna miss it in Puerto Vallarta because we went ATVing up in the mountains, and you stop and you buy candy because there's kids up there, the poor families, and you toss them candy. So they tell you oh, if you're gonna do the excursion with the ATVs, it's fun to take it for the kids. So we were up there and we were just tooting around and we're like, oh my God, we've got 30 minutes, and I never rode an ATV so fast in my life down a fucking mountain to get back. Mm-hmm. and get back to the ship. I was like, oh my God.
How much time did you have?
Out, what is it, like 8 hours?
When you got there, when you got to the ship, was it like a minute before it left? Like you just like
I don't know. It was on the two toots. I mean, like they were ready to roll. Yeah. You know those TikToks where you see them running down that was us.
Okay.
Like, no, we're here, bitch.
Stop.
Wow. Wow. Really selling that whole cruise thing.
It is. It gets your adrenaline running. You know?
Yeah, we never did the excursions through the ship. We always went and did our own thing. So like we found our own, thing, and then we were like, oh, let's go do the ATVs. And then when we went to Mazatlan, we did the kayaking to Deer Island. And then in Cabo, I think in Cabo we just hung out, went to Papa's and Bear and stuff the first time. And then in the Caribbean cruise, same thing. Like we just would find our own shit and go off. We did a jungle hike and we did a jet skis.
This is my grandmother traveling. The ship doesn't wait for nobody except my grandmother.
Yeah, no.
This isn't just how things are for my grandmother, like once in a while. Like she's just like the luckiest traveler. It's very odd. Stopped the plane from taking off because her friends connected. Like, no, we're traveling together. You need to wait. Like you're gonna wait. That was back in the day. I don't think they would do that anymore now.
No.
But with my grandmother, like, she travels to Russia and has to get off the boat and because her friend is sick and they need a doctor.
I want to travel with her.
They get off. Russia treated them like straight up royalty. Put them up in like the best places, got them the best doctors, like the best care you could ever imagine.
So if we ever go on a cruise, she's going with us.
Right. And they I think she had like a little bit of a harder time like getting connecting flights and stuff. Like I remember my mom was like back and forth like on the phone with like the like US embassy in Russia trying to like figure it all out, like back like how are they gonna get there and like how do you like pay for things and just all that kind of it was just so odd. And so like they brought them on the news to ask them how their stay in Russia was.
There must have been some political shit going on at the time, and they're trying to make a good name for themselves. Yeah,
maybe that very well could have been it.
Jessica, believe it or not, we used to every time we went on our cruises, it was a huge group that would go, and you get a better rate that way.
No, not her corpse. Like her friend got sick and they had to get off because they needed a specialty doctor, like a cardiologist or whatever it was, but. That was her girlfriend, and she, they all ended up fine, and obviously got back to the U.S. just fine. But
yeah, well, if your grandma went now and they found the wrong bottle of Advil in her bag, she'd be over there with the homegirl in the fucking prison camp.
Colony, yeah.
Oh, I almost said bring her. You mean bring my grandmother? Yeah. Next time, yeah. Well, she just, she's old. She's not gonna die. It's fine. She's old, so she won't go. So by the time I'll be her corpse. Yeah, I'll just be like a little good luck corpse. Like just
no, she'll go. She's not gonna die. It'll be like Weekend at
Bernie's.
Thank you.
She'll enjoy that. To know that she's gonna
She will not. No, she's the one who's over here like, don't you have a fucking funeral for me? I don't want one. I don't want a party. No celebration.
Okay, well, then we'll dress her up and take her on the ship, and then we can slip her off the back like Domo did with the plates.
Do a little Weekend at Bernie's. What flies further?
We were frisbeeing them. They were good frisbees.
Oh my god!
Shame on you, Dominique. Shame on you.
My
I was 18. I shouldn't have been on the cruise.
So then when I was on a buffet the year later, there weren't enough plates to go around. Now I know why. Damn it.
Mom, you would have got your ring sooner if they hadn't let you on the cruise, Dominique.
See.
Oh,
my mom's probably watching right now, like about to book a cruise for this.
Yeah.
Ask her off the backside. Because they live together and she helps take care of her, but taking care of old people is not an easy task. She said she's about to book a cruise.
Right.
It's
just
like a membership.
One free every year.
One way. As
Exactly.
the transitional ones are usually one way. You have to fly back home.
If I hear transitional one more time, Dominique, I'm gonna transition into saying goodnight. The hell off.
I mean, we're at an hour 54, so transition then.
You know how my goodnights go. I don't do the tour. Good night. We're done. End broadcast.
Oh my god, you just like kick her off and you're like, all right, let's go play some bingo.
Bunko?
Bunko, right? Which one?
Bunko,
She does, yeah. Graham loves traveling. She just doesn't want to do it now because she's older and she has to like get help, and that's not fun for her. So like Des and I made her go to San Diego. Wasn't necessarily was it last year?
Oh,
it was
that was
earlier this year before
recent.
the baby was born. So we went down to San Diego for a weekend, and that was fun. You gotta like help them everywhere. She has to like grab your arm everywhere she goes, and she's like, I don't want to bring my cane, so I'll just take you. But then she worries that like you're gonna drop her, and like I've never done that, so she hasn't like worried about it. But look at her, that was in February. Okay, sorry, in another month. So Desiree is like pregnant. We're with Graham, who like has to hold her. She needs help being like carried everywhere. So we are going to a massage. We booked like a massage, reflexology. I've never gotten a massage before. This is my first one. So, and for Graham, she's only done like regular massages. So this was like totally different and weird for her because reflexology is mean. They like really hard push into things and like it does not feel good sometimes. And I was like, probably should have just told them to like heal my liver so I can have like another year or so on whatever kind of drinking I want to do. But
yeah, I might need more livers.
That's what I'm saying. Like just like hit the liver spot and good to go. But anyway, so we're leaving that and we parked underground. So coming up, it's like one of those like conveyor belts. It's not an escalator and it's not like a full height like level, but it's like, like the airport conveyor belts.
Yeah.
But it goes
people mover?
Yeah, it's like a people mover, but it like goes up and then obviously on your way back you have to come down. It's not that far. Not that far. But anyways, my grandmother like gets on and goes up and she's like, okay, I can go up just fine. Look at her, the conveyor belt.
What's the beep? Beep. Not that one. This one.
Oh my god.
Like you're being scanned.
So it's in a grocery store. So we go in, we like get like geared up to go. Graham's like, you're gonna need to hang on to me when we step on this thing. So Desiree is behind me and I'm on like my grandmother's side and I'm holding Graham up on this side and she goes to take a step onto it. And I was like, okay, let's just count. Like, let's go, at like 3. So she goes to take a step and she grabs the railing, which immediately takes off.
But her feet were still back there.
One foot was forward. So I'm holding her and I'm on the conveyor belt. She stepped forward. Her hand is on the railing. So she's moving down. One foot is moving down. She literally she left her foot back on the fucking platform. That's
my mom did on an escalator.
She's going, I'm trying to lift her, but now I'm fucking dying. You know how weak you get when you're laughing? I was like, bitch, I told you. I was like, bring your foot. Desiree gets up under her fucking butt cheeks and shoves her whole fucking ass. I am instant. Desiree is pregnant, but she gets right up under our grandmother and just like lifted her by the ass cheeks to get her back onto this conveyor belt. And she's like, see, this is why I don't like to travel.
Oh my God.
This is why you did. She said, I did not. Yes, you did.
I don't believe you, Desiree. I do not believe you.
Bring her leg from the platform under her fucking body.
Don't believe
she would not move it. Would not. We're just still going. And I'm like, how long can you leave behind you?
Stretch Armstrong.
So my mom had shopping bags in her hands at Delamo Mall. I think I was like 16. And same thing. She went to go step on the escalator, but I guess she didn't get her back foot on enough, and she starts busting these splits. I'm laughing so hard I can't fucking move. I don't help her. Some random stranger goes to help her. I'm dying. The whole back of her calf got like scratched up and shit.
Oh, no.
We talk about that shit to this day. I don't care. That shit was funny. How am I supposed to help when I can't even breathe? How dare you?
She said it was the top half. No, it was not the top half. She literally had to bring Graham's leg out like from the platform and shove it under her and like stand her upright. And oh my God, I was dying. I was in tears though. I was so weak. I was like, hold her up. I'm gonna die. I can't. She's like, hold on tight. Okay, I won't let go. You need to let go of the platform, Graham.
Desiree would have been a good cheerleader as the base.
Oh my God.
I got you.
See?
Okay, good night.
And anyways, all right. So then we will just see you guys next week. And Hey Good Night is done. Oh my goodness.
Don't forget, next week we've got our end of the book raffle item that you do not want to miss.
Don't.
Nope. And your boxes are shipping. So exciting week. Yeah. Exciting week. And don't forget to scratch off.
There's a little something in
with a coin
too that
with
I
a
think,
coin.
Rebecca's grandmother would have really loved. So stick around. Don't miss it.
Stick around. And happy Thanksgiving.
Hey.
Oh yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
Gobble gobble, people.
Happy Thanksgiving, bitches.
I'll see you next week.
Good night.
Good night.